Guys, it has been an overnight. I took a little bit of a sleep and wanted to just kind of think about what the Packers, how that all played out. That was better than I expected. I did have them winning in my previous video a shootout of 37-31. Uh, the points were a premium in this game. We saw that from the start. We saw that really from the start. So I'm gonna kind of maybe go from like a beginning to a little bit of the end. I thought that the opening script was really good. I thought they did a great job of running the ball, getting the ball into Aaron Jones' hands. But the first few drives, what did they do? They kicked field goals. They literally kicked field goals, and that is not how you win playoff football games. Points are a premium in playoff football games. In the red zone, you have to score. You have to score. If you don't, you set up yourself for stuff like this. You let teams dangle around, and we've seen this. I sorry to bring this up. I know everyone's getting over this heartbreak after getting over the 2014 heartbreak. Look up that game. Look up the 2014 game. They got to the red zone on the 3-4 yard line 3 times and kicked field goals. They had 9 points from that. If you turn those in for touchdowns, these games are over. That was the same with today's game. Well, the last night's game. You have to score touchdowns. That's it. You have to score touchdowns. I thought they had a lot of great opening plays. I thought they ran the ball. They wanted to challenge the 49ers on stopping the run, and they ran the ball. They got everything that they had wanted to. Bo Melton. It's funny. I was watching the game. I was like, "Where's Bo Melton?" I saw the picture of he was standing here on the sideline. Where's Bo Melton? Then Bo Melton had this huge penalty on third down, and then he had the huge touchdown. Like, that's what you got to do. You got to knock those in. I thought that going into the end of the second half, it's funny. I had literally been sitting there Googling when was the last blocked field goal by the Green Bay Packers. I think it was 2021 came up, and sure enough, the Packers block a kick, and you knew special teams is going to come up, and this is the first time the Packers were on the good end of the special teams. And then the start of the third, and the third got a little bit wild. The third led to a lot of scoring. I still don't understand how Brock Purdy did not get an intentional grounding for that one play where he was in the pocket clearly and just sailed the ball. And I think you even heard Greg Olsen say it. He goes, "There's nobody within the vicinity of 25 yards." So I was like, wait a second. That should have been intentional grounding because he was clearly in the pocket and he just threw the ball up in the air. And you saw Brandon Ayuk, bro, like, bro, where's that ball going? I thought that was a missed call. I thought the refs. Listen. Everybody's always gonna complain about the refs. I thought the spot on the Jordan Love sneak was bad. I thought he got it. Maybe they didn't know where the ball was. I thought that should have also gone to review. And then the second one where he ran for it on 4th and 1 and he had to roll his body over and he got it. I thought that should have been from an upstairs booth review. Like, I thought that it was a clear-cut indication. That should have been an upstairs booth review as opposed to Matt LaFleur having to throw the flag. Granted, I don't think it came back to bite them. But, it's something like sometimes with this ref stuff, it's like it should be cleaned up. Where there should be a little bit more advanced in how they complete some of these things. But anyways, the third quarter was a shootout. The third quarter, it felt good. You had that huge Keyshawn Nixon return. And, he fumbled it, and my heart, like, stopped for a second. And Eric Wilson made that amazing recovery because that did not look like that was going to go our way. They scored that drive and the vibes were great. I was feeling that one. But you had that sense of going into the fourth that like they're lingering on for too long. Then after that, we all, you had that Aaron Jones long run, which actually reminded me a lot like the Aaron Jones cast. Which one was it? That Aaron Jones long pass. I think it was Tampa Bay when they got into the range, and you're like, dude, this is it. They're gonna hit the knockout punch, and then Anders Carlson misses the field goal. Um, But Anders Carlson, I will say, again, I'm gonna preface this with one thing. I know when people miss big plays like this, or they miss or they mess up, people tend to get very nasty, and it shows the dirty side of humanity. We do not need death threats. We do not need anything of violence towards Anders Carlson. He knows he messed up. The coaches, the players, they know he messed up. He wanted to make kicks. It just hasn't happened for him in his rookie year. His rookie year has been a mixed bag, if not more of a bad bag of missed kicks. He's missed a lot of extra points. He was the number one kicker this year and missed kicks. That is a spot where you would really, really like to see him make those kicks. And people were saying, well, bring back Mason Crosby. They should have brought back Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby had also missed kicks previously. Now, again, Mason Crosby is a veteran, but even at the end of his tenure with us, his leg did not seem to show the same pop that it always had. Granted, I understand that he was also coming off of injury, but I do think also Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur would have been in a tough spot. They had bet on the youth, and they'd let all the youth go through their struggles and play it out. Now, a lot of the other guys were young youth, and they grew and they reached new peaks and new heights as the season progressed. Anders Carlson did not. So I could have understood if they would have brought in a veteran. I do think that obviously they are going to stick with him. I don't think they're going to cut him, but I do think they are going to bring in competition going into the offseason. They have to. They have to have him push and have him want. Now, I also looked up another statistic because I was just curious, because I remember this other gentleman went through a lot of struggles too. It was Young Ho Koo, I believe. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons. He is the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons. I think that his rookie year for the Los Angeles Chargers, he was like 50%. And obviously, people did not want him. They cut him. He goes to Atlanta Falcons, and I'm going to guess that he just worked his tail off on his kicking game, and now he is an all-pro, Pro Bowler kicker. So there is growing pains with kickers. And I think Mason Crosby even has his growing pains. You would just like not to see it happen on the biggest stage. He missed that kick, but I also don't think that is exactly where you lose the game. I thought that they also lost the game in not scoring in the red zone. Like I said earlier, those are premium points. You have to score in the red zone. 2014, the Packers could not score in the red zone. The Packers 2014 Seattle Seahawks game, they went down and they were like down to the goal line, like first and goal, like three times I think, and they kicked field goals. You have to score points. Then after that, the defense, again, when they needed a stop, they could not get a stop. And that is kind of the trend with the Joe Barry defense. If you had looked at this game before the fourth quarter, you would have been like, okay, box score looks good. You look at the numbers now, the box score looks good. But every time they play the 49ers or a lot of these teams, or, when they need a stop, the Joe Barry defense does not get that stop. I don't know if it's the plays he's calling. We're not in the booth, so we don't know what the play calls are. We saw some calls get botched. Again, they're rookies. There's young kids that just do wrong things. But this also happens within the rest of the NFL. No team is playing perfect football. It happens. The problem is that it always seems like when they are in crunch and they need that stop, they don't get that stop. And I don't know, again, if it's the play calling or, I'm not saying these guys are quitting, if it's like the player build, the structure, the mentality of how they're playing. It always seems like they are in a way, they don't consistently show that they can get punched in the face and then come back. they tend to be the one that gets punched in the face and runs away, or they're not the one that punches somebody in the face, says, "Oh, you're bleeding. Let me get on top and just end this here." They don't double tap. That's what I love to say is they don't double tap. They let the villain hang around for too long, thinking that like that they're okay. They're gonna wait for the next opportunity. They they're missing that. And I don't know if it's maybe that's why they're trying. Brian Gutekunst is gonna start drafting maybe somebody that's not as high of a athletic score, maybe, and that does a little bit more grit and punch. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. And also, once they didn't see that stop, the 49ers, you also saw they scored more in the red zone than the Packers did. To me, that is the big difference. Scoring in the red zone. I just think that the Packers just played an incomplete game. And that end of the game, Jordan Love interception. I know a lot of people are like mad that why did he do that and whatnot. Um, the off script stuff like that does hurt. It is growth that you would like to see from him. I don't know what he saw on that play. But it's also possible that maybe he knew that Christian Watson was going to be there. So he was thinking that he is going to be open. And the 49ers also, like, the 49ers are not a stupid team. It's not like you're playing against, Madden on rookie mode and they're just going to be like, not doing anything. They might have also been like, hey, listen, do we know that Jordan Love is going to not give us one, but that he is going to look to play a little bit off script once he breaks the pocket, and so just kind of lurk and bait him. Maybe I don't know. But there's a lot to appreciate about what this young team did. I do think when everybody is saying the team is so young, I think the offensive side is very young, and obviously they do have some good young defensive guys. We got a lot of play out of some of the younger guys, but I think some of the foundation of that defensive side of the ball is veteran. So I do have some concern with their ability to get certain stops, and also to play a full season as a great defense. I'm not saying you got to get rid of the guys. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying of concern that I don't think the youth on the defensive side is as big as it's made out to be. These are my guys. I love Kenny Clark. I think Kenny Clark is so underrated and underappreciated within the league. Rashawn Gary, I mean, he's a Jersey guy. I'm a Jersey guy. I love Rashawn Gary. I think he got every dollar he deserved. Even you have it's like these guys are the core of the defense, and they don't. It seems like they are individually great, and it's like they can't like the team greatness isn't fully ingrained unless it's a work in progress. You had Devontae Wyatt take big steps this year. TJ Slayton's been here for a little bit, but like he's getting more plays. So maybe it is coming together. It is young in that aspect. So maybe now it's working. Brian Gutekunst has a ton of draft picks, so it's gonna be very excited. Guys, like and subscribe. I am going to try to do more content throughout the year and with the Packers, and I'm very excited about our future, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great season. We got way more football than we expected, but guys, be well. Peace out. Have a good one. Later. Bye.